everyone. Designing or decorating our homes takes a lot of time and research, but whether you hire a designer or go it on your own, tech can help make the process that much easier. Here to show us how is the one, Tamara Robbins-Griffith. So you are a designer, you do a lot of styling. Like, teach us your ways, because there are so many tools and toys that we aren't aware of. So how can tech help us measure?
Yes, I mean, measuring is actually, doesn't sound very sexy, but it's one of the most important parts of design. And we measure once, twice, 3 times.
It's huge.
So a few things. I wish I was younger. I wish it was longer ago that I knew that if you have an iPhone, it comes loaded with an app called Measure.
Okay.
So this is what it looks, that's what the icon looks like. It has 2 functions. One,
how many times have you seen that on your phone and just been like, how do I get rid of that?
I don't need that.
Yeah,
so
you actually
chances
need
are, you know, you have this, you don't even know you have it, right? So very convenient to use the level for hanging pictures, for instance.
That's good.
And then Measure is great for, you know, perhaps measuring a piece of furniture. You're out shopping, you're in a store, you don't have a measuring tape, you're at a flea market. Will this fit in my house? So it uses the camera to scan the item. So I will just choose.
What are you scanning, the table?
Yeah, I'm just going from one side of the table to the other.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's 55 centimeters.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
How many times have I left the house and I'm on my way to IKEA and I realize the measuring tape is in the kitchen drawer, turn all the way back and go home to grab it, because you're not going to buy the chair and the chair can't fit through the door. You need the measurements.
Right, and then
that's
kind of like measuring a piece of furniture, handy dandy because you have it with you, right? So now we're talking about measuring a room, okay?
So this is a much bigger measurement, and this is the sort of thing where you might need a little bit more tech help, and maybe you're going to want to use something like lasers.
Lasers for much more precision and accuracy. And oftentimes measuring a room is a 2-person job, right?
Totally.
So if you're by yourself, this is handy dandy. Now I've got a few different ones with me. I love this little cute baby from DeWalt. Look how small it is.
What could that possibly do?
It can measure up to 55 feet, Tracy.
Really?
Yeah, so it's pretty adequate for most homes. So with any of these little laser measuring devices, it's going to measure to the back, and then you're pointing the laser at the surface. You want to measure that distance. So you could hold it against one wall, point the laser at the far wall. Now I'm just showing that your ceiling in the studio is,
not high enough,
7 feet 7
according
inches.
to the lighting grid.
7 feet 7 inches from the top of this table where I had that down.
So now, the laser goes all the way up or all the way out, and it's going to give you that measurement from the bottom of the little device.
From the back of the device or the bottom of the device. So you could use that to measure a wall to see how much wallpaper do I need.
Yes.
Right. You could use it obviously if you're measuring a room to see what furniture to put in it. You know, next step up. This guy does up to 100 feet, but also it can measure volume, it can measure area. It has a calculator function.
So much math, volume and area. So we did need to learn it.
If you don't want to have to worry about all that in your head, it can be handy to have a device to help you. And then the Bosch Blaze, the measuring functions the same way as the other ones, but then it also has a companion app, which is kind of cool. So if you wanted to make a floor plan, for instance, you can.
Which is pretty ambitious. I mean, that's sort of what we get people asking for the most on this show, floor plans.
So, but you can just draw it and then use the Bluetooth to connect a measurement to that.
Very interesting.
To that plan. So it doesn't have to be a complex floor plan for the average person.
So we're going to move along, and we're going to talk a little bit about color matches. This is a tough one. We used to have to go out and bring like a swatch, a piece of the rug, a piece of the chair with us to figure out what was going to go with it. You don't have to do that anymore.
I like the Pantone Studio app. If you don't know, Pantone's a worldwide color matching system. I think Benjamin Moore might have also a similar app for paint colors. But essentially, you can take a picture of something you really like to scan the colors from it, or you can upload a photo. So I really like this rug.
That's beautiful.
I love the colors in it. Then I can hone in on that one and go to the next screen. It's going to tell me that what Pantone color it is, and then I can use it in any variety of situation. I can take it to the paint store as well.
Right.
And they can convert it to a Ben Moore color.
I think if you've ever been caught in that situation, you're really surprised at how off you are with the color when you don't have an actual example sitting in front of you. You're just like, well, it's green. Now there's like a million greens, right?
And you know what? Still do a test pot, right? Because, you know, there is some variance between, you know, the way light affects color.
Totally.
But it's great to get inspiration and start honing in.
Okay, so let's talk about room layouts. Like I was saying, we get a lot of viewers who need help with room layouts. I've asked you for help with room layouts before in my actual home.
Okay.
So this will help you with that.
Yeah, I have a couple here. I'll just try and go through quickly. Room planner, I think, is really easy for the average person. This is not what an interior designer would typically use. They'd be in SketchUp or AutoCAD. But what you can do in room planner is you can pick one of their templates already. I've just kind of grabbed an existing home office design they had, but what you can then do is you can switch out the product. So you can see right there I've highlighted the desk, and then it's going to bring in a bunch of other ones I can choose from. Crate & Barrel, IKEA. It's kind of loaded with product from not every retailer, but if you wanted to see, okay, what does it look like if I start swapping things out, just to get some visualization. So that's a really cool one. And then the last one I wanted to show you was Trace, which I really like because it's basically like digital tracing paper. This is by Mofilio. It's called Trace, and you can just start sketching layers on top of any floor plan, let's say from your real estate agent, from your builder if you're buying a new build, and play around with layouts and play around with changes.
So what you did there is you drew a range hood, and like what if we did that?
What if we did a range hood instead of cabinetry there? Like how would that look? You know, if you can give feedback to your designer or start just playing around with ideas without necessarily just doing your own floor plan from scratch.
Totally. I love when tech can help make things easier, not more complicated.
Yes,
easier.
exactly.
T, thank you so much. Let's go to break. We have more coming up.